I've been measuring headphones for about 10 years now, maybe a little bit longer, and believe me, that can be a painful process, especially when you measure dozens, sometimes in a week. Not a normal week, usually it's 3 or 4, but it's gotten to a point where I just need my own custom tools, and if I need these tools, maybe some of you guys do too. So today I'm releasing a new open source program, Fastgraph. You might ask me, why are we using this? Why not just use Room EQ Wizard? Well, I've been using Room EQ Wizard for a long time, and I do greatly appreciate the people who have developed that. It is fantastic software, but it is primarily designed more for speakers. You can use it for headphones, there's no problem with that specifically, but I run into so many errors, so many different setbacks, things that make my workflow slower, I encounter bugs, or I encounter things where Bluetooth devices might cut off sooner, or just disconnect entirely, show random clipping from active noise canceling that just isn't present. Or all my audio devices just stop working and I have to restart the application. All these things piling up means my workflow gets slowed down, and doing the collection of measurements I need to do can take a really long time. So I've been working on this. It's just streamlined software designed completely for headphone measurements. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it also uploads directly to squiglink when it's done. I'll show you that in a second. First, here's a quick tour and demo of how this works. On the top half is where all of my measurements are happening. The bottom shows an average of all the measurements on the top. We have a Bluetooth mode, which is a bit more strict on timing permissions, and has multiple different fallbacks for making sure the timing is accurate, because Bluetooth has delay sometimes. Here's where you'd put in the headphone metadata. This is actually pretty important for uploading to squiglink, so you would fill in some of this basic information. Below that, you can select what your output and input device is, as well as the channel. So I'm doing channel 1 right now, which is the left channel. You can refresh your devices if they crash just by pressing this button, which is, oh, so nice. Anytime an interface is a problem, I don't have to close and reopen the program. Below that is an RMS monitor, just so you can tell if that channel is working. It doesn't like the mini DSP ears, but it does like the 5128. I should mention, this is like very much in beta. I have been working on a bajillion versions of this. This is going to be the first public beta of it, but there is still a ways to go on some things. If you do have bugs or want to report feedback, there's a link down here at the bottom that goes to a Google form. Here you can set your output level. I'm going to set mine to -6, and let's set a queue number of 5 measurements. Now, if I start that queue, I am greeted with this. I can essentially keep the measurement, or if I think there's a problem with it, I can press fail and redo it. I think this measurement's fine, so I'm just going to reposition the headphone, press enter. This one has a little bit more noise in it, so I'm going to fail and redo that one real quick. It's because there's a helicopter going overhead. I'll just keep repositioning and then keeping or redoing the measurements as needed until the queue completes. That looks pretty good. We just got 5 measurements done. Let's switch to the other channel and do 5 more real quick. And as you can see right here, we've kept 10 measurements. We can see all the individual sweeps here and the average of them down here. Now I can export the average of this, or if I want, I can upload to squiglink, enter my credentials, it'll edit the phone book and put it straight up on my squiglink page. Easy peasy. You'll also notice when I click the variation band button, this changes to export variation. This actually saves one single text file with all the variation data. And there's not a lot of graphing tools yet that can support this, but they are coming. Then we have some other basic tools down here: undo last measurement, clear all measurements, SPL calibration, which is actually something pretty important to do in general. So I wanted to have that option as a feature. And in here you can control things like the sweep duration, the sample rate, and so on. This will also let you control your tolerances for how tight things can be in terms of alignment for your measurement. If you have really, really strict tolerances in a really tight space, you can set that in here. And Bluetooth mode does change those settings slightly, by the way, so you can reinvestigate them after doing Bluetooth mode. That really is the whole thing. Fastgraph is an extremely simple, streamlined program. It was written with a combination of human development and LLMs. So yes, there is some vibe coding in here. I'm really proud of the last several months of work that I put into this thing. I've been going through testing a very significant number of headphones, and with the help of friends, comparing it to Audio Precision's software to make sure that it is just as accurate. So far, things are looking really, really good. This is speeding up my process significantly, and I've been building some small data curation tools to help me parse through the variation band data that I've been exporting from this, which will also be an open source tool in the near future, as well as just better ways to compare data that I've measured between different headphones. Let's do another one real quick. This was the old K612 Pro, by the way. Now I'm going to put on the SJY Horizon Closed Carbon. This is another headphone that I recently got in. Let's do this one for real. So I'm going to clear the metadata on this one. I'm going to clear all measurements. Let's go up here. So this is being measured on the Ears Pro 711. This is an SJY headphone. This is the Horizon CC. Let's do left channel. It is an over-ear close back. I'll leave the rest blank for now. I feel good about that. Let's do 5 sweeps starting on channel 1. That is channel 1 done for 5 sweeps. Let's do channel 2. And that's that. Let's see what it looks like with the variation band applied and compensated. So we have the results that are pretty warm, bassy, definitely a little bit V-shaped. You get the idea. Now this is only 10 measurements saved. Usually when I do my process, I do 2 different rigs at least. I do 15 measurements per ear per rig. So about 60 measurements. That can take a while. This lets me focus on making sure the headphone positions are right, verifying each measurement as just a pass or fail, and streamlining my workflow instead of dealing with bugs. The more obstacles I can eliminate, the better work I can do. And that's really it. Fastgraph is free. If you want to support the project, you can always contribute on Patreon or on Floatplane. But this thing's on GitHub. Do whatever you want with it. Go measure some stuff. Have fun. Oh, I also forgot to mention, this does have JM1 in here and the headphones.com IEM diffuse field if you are also measuring IEMs. And that's it. I want to thank Super Review for helping me implement the ability to upload things in here straight to squiglink, and go measure stuff. Remember, good sound is getting cheap, cheap sound is getting good, price does not correlate with sound quality, and vote with your wallet. Peace.